Nino, I'm accepting you in. There you go.
What's good, my brother?
How's my Wi-Fi right now? Is it okay?
Your wife, I don't know how she's doing.
My
Oh,
Wi-Fi.
they say your wife. I was like, bro, that's a crazy joke to crack right away. I have no idea how your wife's doing. Your Wi-Fi is great right now.
Right, thank you. So, no, my wife actually hit the hay early tonight. She was feeling a little under the weather, so I was just watching movies, drinking some wine, and the rest is history. You'll be very proud of me too, Nino. You want to know why?
Why would I be proud of
Because
you,
for
man?
Christmas, I got 3 books.
What?
Okay, so you
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
The Day After Roswell, right?
Beautiful.
Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock.
Okay, that's beautiful. You're into archaeology now or something?
And you'll love this, The Life and Times of Nikola Tesla.
Okay, there we go. Now here's the catch. How long is it going to take you to read all 3 books?
After football season, I'll be good. But like I watch football Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So now that it's like coming to an end, I think like I read Operation Paperclip in like 2 weeks. So that wasn't bad.
This guy just says, "Did you get Mind Conf?" That's hilarious. Yo, did you? Did you?
That's Eric. That's our boy Eric.
Oh, Eric's hilarious. Did you? When was the last book that you read that wasn't Little Mermaid or like some sports biography? Like, what was the last book you read that wasn't on like fucking 80 cinema?
Hey,
Goonies. You read like a book about the Goonies or something?
No.
Knowing you.
You want to hear what I read, which is very, very interesting. I read Sue Klebold's book, the mother of one of the Columbine shooters, about her like reaction. Like it was basically about the day of it happened, and like it was her whole perspective of it. It was really sad.
That's intense.
Yeah, it was really good though. It was actually a great book. It kind of fucked you up a little bit.
You read like every housewife. Like housewives watch all the fucking shit about like school shooters' parents and they want to cry. You read a book that you just knew damn well you were gonna fucking somehow, some way feel the pain of a fucking grieving woman for victims, for her son, for her own poor motherhood. Like I don't even know what the book's about, but I'm assuming I'm hitting close to the bullseye.
Yeah, and I also got into a real World War II thing. So I reread Anne Frank's diary, then I read who basically snitched on Anne Frank, and then I read Operation Paperclip. So that was like all in a month. I read that.
Operation Paperclip in regards to the scientists, the Nazi scientists that we made. Oh shit, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Annie Jacobson. I actually listen. I played a part when we first met. Like, and I do love Harry Potter. Not gonna lie, but I do actually did a lot. I did do a lot of reading.
Told me you don't read. I was someone telling you books. He was like, "Why do you read so much?" And you were getting no mad. What up, Mozzie? Respect to my man Mozzie. Shout outs to my mom. My mom's in here. I want to shout out Mommy and Mozzie, even though it rhymes. They're not the same. But shout outs to my mom who's in here.
My mom came on my Christmas spectacular, and all she did was make fun of how she dressed me like a cat for Halloween. She embarrassed me.
I was in here. Don't you remember?
Yeah, no, I remember you. But I was very drunk that night, and my Wi-Fi.
Yo, your moms came in while we were destroying your fucking Christmas list, just like obliterating you for having no culture, for borderline being racist. Like we were saying the worst things about you, and your mom was in here. And I remember Flex texting me like, "Dude, his mom's is in here. You might want to chill or something." And your mom's was playing along, and then we were like, "Yo, your mom's probably babied you. She did this," and your mom started telling us all the stories of when she would cook for you and your friends and set this up, and you guys are the house for this and that. I said, "Yo, his mom's is the shit. She's joining in on us, ganging up on us."
That's where I get my personality. You know, the I don't care factor. It is what it is. You got, you live one life, right? And you got to just anticipate. Hold on. Okay, we're good. All right, Nino. Before you got on here, you were saying you were yelling at 20 people. Why are you so upset? Oh no, Eric. That's not good. Eric just updated that he has a, I don't want to say it, but that sucks, Eric. Feel better, buddy.
Well, Eric, stop hanging around with the gays. I'm just joking. I'm just playing. I don't think that's how you get it. But
this is a movie Philadelphia. Like, what are we doing here, Nino?
I hope you get better, Eric. You know what I mean? And keep your asshole tight. So I was yelling at 20 people. It was in a Spaces, and it was about It was about some random. I don't know. I like yelling at people. What do you want me to do?
Well, why you like that? What happened to you? Is it because you moved out to the West Coast and you've changed? Not all of us.
No, I yell more in Brooklyn. Here it makes you relax and calm down.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
So what? Hey, that thing though. Before we touch on things, I want to ask you. That thing I texted you about with my friend. Is that a go?
Yeah.
We working on that?
I sent him a text and I'm waiting for him to respond back with a real idea. So I got you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Might actually do good for somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah,
for sure, man.
Shout out to Dirtbag Dan. This is his website, the All Dogs Deserve Love. Yeah, that's the shelter he runs, I believe. I bought it on his site.
Yeah.
So all right, Nino. What are you working on lately? I haven't talked to you. You texted me in August and goes, yo, let's do a live soon. And I text you like 5 weekends in a row. Okay, is the night work? No response. Then you randomly text me and Brian, hey, just checking up on you guys. And then I told you how Brian might move to Iowa. No response. And then you come on my IG Live and bash me. It was like you took a 4-month hiatus.
Which time?
It was like,
I bashed you. What was I bashing you?
You said my list stinks and it broke Instagram protocol. That's why I got kicked off, even though my list was very good.
Yeah. You know I hate your list. Yeah. I hate all your lists.
I'm a big list guy.
Bro, anybody who has a Christmas song list and Donny Hathaway's ain't cracking the top 5, we not friends. I can't fuck with you. I had to take a hiatus because you ain't put Donny Hathaway on the top 5 of a Christmas song list, and that hurt my feelings, bro. And you know what I mean?
You've known me 4 years, for the most part. Do you think I'd have Donny Hathaway on my top 5 list, though?
No, but that still hurts me that you still haven't picked up all the culture with all the shit that we know. Like I helped you with your algorithms. Sure. I helped you essentially like with your how do you call it, content mannerisms of how you watch. Like I had an effect on you, so I would have thought that you would have had some soul. You know what I mean? Not sitting there thinking, you know, that fucking Taylor. Oh, who is it that you put one of these? Insert whatever white woman that lived in a van for 6 months, and you are putting her on your fucking top 5 list. You know what I mean?
You know what? I had Darlene Love.
Shania Twain, that's who it is. Shania Twain. She's on every top 5 list you ever have.
Shania Twain is not. I don't like country Christmas music.
Okay.
That's why. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. That's why, as much as I like Taylor Swift, I don't fuck with her Christmas music. I just don't think it's good. That's just with all due respect. But like the reason I will say Donny Hathaway, one of the things I hate the most is when white bands remake Donny Hathaway's song, like Train and them, because you are right, there has to be some sort of soul involved, and it turns out that these radio stations are playing the remakes more than Donny Hathaway, so that does bother me.
Listen, I don't even like when white rock bands remake blues records. The only person that got away with that with me was Kurt Cobain when he did a famous Lead Belly record called Where Did You Sleep Last Night? And I think Lead Belly called it In the Pines. A lot of people thought Kurt Cobain wrote it for Courtney Love because it sounded like it was to her, because remember, he always thought she was kind of unfaithful or whatever. I don't know how big of a Nirvana fan you are, but
I do like Nirvana. Yeah,
a lot of people thought Kurt Cobain wrote that for Courtney Love because it was like it sounded like she broke his heart or whatever, and she was going around cheating on him. But it was a Lead Belly record, and that's the club that Where Did You Sleep Last Night? Nirvana Unplugged, Kurt Cobain performing that he did like an acoustic version of it. That's probably the closest thing I've ever heard of somebody like that do like a soulful blues record and not fuck it up, because he kind of added his own twist and still kind of like kept a lot of the true elements. It's a tough thing to do. So I feel you when these white try to remake soul. It's crazy.
Well, just don't do it. Like that's the point. It's like, what did George Carlin say? He was like, if white people are burning down black churches, then black people ought to burn down the House of Blues. That place is fucking disgrace. He goes, what the fuck do white people have to be blue about? Banana Republic ran out of khakis? Hootie and the Blowfish are breaking up?
Rest in peace, George Carlin. I'm with him. I'm not mad at somebody attempting to do a cover. Just honor the true essence of the cover. But look, to answer your question and be brief, I've been working on Illuminati Reject 3. I'm putting an end to the series. This was 2. I did 1. Several people around the world got tattoos of the album. It inspired big artists. One of the biggest artists in Africa. Shout out to my homegirl TJ, who she probably knows who Nasty C is. Nasty C is one of the biggest artists in Africa, and I have a post on my page right now because I kind of like only have like, I'm doing that little artsy thing people do where they delete all their posts and they only have like 8 or 9 posts. I'll never do 2, 3. I'll always have like 6, 9, 12 or some shit and make it somewhat to where I'm like a regular person. But Nasty C is one of the biggest artists in Africa, and if you go to the post that I have with a baby reacting to Rhyme of the Year, it's like one of the first 2 posts. Anybody on here after you get off this, or if you want to take that, you know, peek right now, he's talking about how much Rhyme of the Year influenced him. And then eventually I got word that Illuminati Reject influenced him. So this is a project that sort of went beyond anything I knew it was doing. Like, I have a big fan base in, well, I don't want to say big, but I have a fan base in South Africa, and it's beyond anything I could even imagine. In the Middle East and certain parts of the Balkans, people really rock with Illuminati Reject. In Latin America. And, you know, I did a second one to kind of like, all these people had tattoos of the album and yada, 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 and did all this extra shit. And now I'm doing the third one, finalizing it, and I'm celebrating it for the fans, bro. I'm like, I got artists on there. We could talk about it. I'll spill some beans here that I haven't told anyone. And I got features on it. I'm working with big producers on it, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff. So I've locked in working on that album. I'm also working on other stuff as well. I have about 150, 200 songs that I've been piling up on in the last 2 years. And, you know, I'm just about to go on a run this year, and I kind of just locking into that, doing my reading, doing some writing, and I'm also working with King of the Dot. So we could get into whatever you want to get into.
I will like to say, full disclosure, I'm not on Illuminati Reject 3.
No, yeah.
Full disclosure.
No, you're not.
So if anyone was wondering, yeah, I didn't get the phone call. So it's fine. It's not that I don't, you know.
But you got to know, you got to know how weird this is for me, because
yeah.
I didn't want to do the third one. I didn't want to rap about politics, but then the world shut down. Everybody started getting more into like the geopolitical things that was happening. Now everybody's documenting everything with their phone. Right. So records like mine altering on YouTube had like 20,000 views, 30,000 views. It had over 500,000 on Facebook. This is all documented, but on YouTube, it only had like 20,000. Then all of a sudden, one of my friends called me and said, "Do you know mine altering's over 50,000?" Now it's over 60,000, 70,000. And there's these Reddit posts, there's these Facebook groups of, yo, this guy did this record about what's happening now years ago. And it was just like, it's one of those things, it's like Nostradamus-y, where people thought I was just like preparing them from a world that just thought that shit already happened. Like the thing, when I did Mind Altering, the world was in that space. This is just a much more sensationalized and much more transparent version of what I was talking about. So I did Illuminati Reject 3. I had no intentions. You know, the last thing I ever thought was my music that I did in a room was influencing rappers like Nasty C and you know, guys like, you know, fucking artists like Slug would call me up like, when are you doing another one? So I kind of just got drugged to this space, and I'm proud to be in it. Shout out to my man Vinny Bells.
My boy Nas, who I played ball with, just joined really quick. He's a big battle rap fan. And I know his favorite battle rapper is Sue Surf. How do you feel about the battle rap culture, and where would you rank Sue Surf?
Yes, the battle rap to me is in a very interesting place. I mean, I'm working in battle rap now, and we could get into that a little later, but it's in an interesting space because it's not so centralized anymore. Now the talent's going everywhere. You got Remy Ma participating with Chrome, and you got RB. So it's still this very niche thing. Like, you could walk into a mall and 1 out of 10 people know what you're talking. So either they know everything you're talking about, or they don't. They're like, I 8 Mile. I don't know what you're talking about. So, and as far as Surf is concerned, Free Surf, you know, he's in my opinion, you know, he's a star, and he helped elevate the culture in a different space, you know what I mean? And he went on a run right before he got locked up, which is unfortunate because to me, he was just peaking and finally reaching his prime. So, you know what I mean? And it kind of sucks.
Our boy Nas is a little younger. He's 23. I try to tell him the best rapper from Jersey is Ransom and Budden, but he's a little too young for that. You know what I mean? Bro, he
probably doesn't know Jim Carrey outside of the beard and the philosophy memes. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I was with a family member and her friend. Okay, my niece and her friend, and they thought Jim Carrey was not the same person in The Mask and Ace Ventura. They were like, the bearded guy, the memes. I was like, hold up. He's also in great movies that you probably watched. They were like, what movie? And I was like, The Mask. They were like, that's not the same guy. I was like, yes, it is. So, you know, look, the young cats, they got introduced to things. They have a different entry point. Maybe when he's 26, he'll backtrack and find out that I was on the Joe Budden album and I rap better than everybody in Jersey. So, you know what I mean? Give him some time. You know what I mean? He'll figure it out.
He said Surf being locked up is the reason why battle rap is dead now. I don't know if I agree with that. I think.
Hey, listen, if you're going to pay attention to everything the 23-year-old says, we'll be here all night scratching our heads. I mean, it's all good. You know, when I was 23, I just said shit too. You know what I mean? That's the thing about the internet that people need to understand. It's just people who you don't know. You don't know their credentials. You don't know their background. Just saying anything. So it's like, yes, he says that. Cool. Like, he can say that. We're all going to say
this. As far as the young cat goes, I have broke bread with him, been to his cookout. Yeah, Nino, I was at a cookout this summer. That's a fact. So he does know what he's talking about. I will say that. He does know, like, the old school. He knows the old heads past day. What bothers me the most, and I saw Matt, like, post about it, if we want to talk battle rap here. What bothers me the most is a lot of the people in quote-unquote battle rap media are guys who had been watching since 2014. They have no idea about Ilmac, Thesaurus, Archaic, Erg, Mad Ills, Parables. They don't go back. They don't even know Fight Club with Gin and Math and Iron, like the old Smack.
Wait, hold on.
So I understand.
To be fair, shout out to Parable because he's from Miami. But I know dudes who've been watching battle rap since 02 who don't know who Parable is. So it's like
you got what I'm saying,
graphics. I feel what you're saying. Now look, there's two sides of it. You're talking about the media. I'm gonna try not to be long-winded because I sometimes go back to our old interviews and I'm like, I talk too much. So I'm gonna try to do this.
My wife, true story. When I tell my wife I'm doing an episode with Nino, she goes, "All right, I'll see you in 3 hours."
She knows what time it is.
Yeah, she
knows I'm James Cameron. Yeah. I don't know how to do anything in less than 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? That's just who I am. So, two sides of it. The media side, I'll try to be real quick with it. Anybody, the battle rap media, you can just, anyone with a phone and who can write a headline is media. So we're still in like if you ever seen the movie any Western when the sheriff goes to a town and then somebody's like, that's not the sheriff, that's some other guy who robbed the train like last week. No one knew because they wasn't like real ID and there was no fucking, you know, digital phone credit shit. So we're still in the wild west of battle rap media where you and I, if we dedicated our time, anybody in here who just watched it for 2 months can start loading up a channel, and if they pay somebody to do an interview, they're credible. So that's a weird space to be in. That's something the media in itself, battle rap media, I would be careful how I use the word media.
Well, that's why I put it in quotes.
Yeah.
Like, quote unquote. But like as a fan, it bothers me. So I could imagine, I know Matt Flakes posted about it on Twitter like 2 days ago. Yeah. I could understand being a battle rapper, how much more upset I'd be about it. Like, so it does suck. And even when I talk to these young kids and, you know, and I bring up names, and it doesn't bother me because I get it. They came in at a different time, but it's more showing the respect of the old heads. And that's, I know he was your boy and rest in peace, but like that's where Pat Stay actually was able to go from 2007 to now. People still know him. He was one of the few to actually like branch over, you know what I mean, into the new.
Bro, it's hard to do anything for a long time.
Yeah.
Anything. If you're good to be good at something and then essentially like transcend errors and also like leap through different time frames and upgrade, this shit is not fucking easy, especially the art, you know what I mean? Because art's always the outside world is always going to have an influence, and there's going to be all the constant vicissitude of trends and what people are paying attention to. There's always going to be a sense of urgency of keeping up and do it. Now you got to do this 50s high. No, you got to chop and screw. No, you got to rap about cheerleading, and now you got to do an animated video about a pickle or whatever the fuck, and wear hair like this, put teeth here, and get a stripper on your record. Like, it's always constantly going to give you a sense of urgency of what I'm doing right. And yet the whole time somebody like Slug of Atmosphere is still good because he's going to talk, going to rap about being a father, rap about what's happening in his life, yada yada yada. And that's the beauty of the world where I feel like I'm over the idea that there's any we talk about this gatekeepers media, because everybody can curate their own media. You could be looking at 5 people with a YouTube now, more than you look at what the, you know, some fucking chain of conglomerates is talking about. And as to a point of Desi, who's in here, who's a battle rap fan. By the way, I met her twice. I met her at Stay Forever, and I met her at Blackout, King of the Dot, over in Canada. She wrote Battle Rap is Dead. And that's another side of it. I feel like things in a whole, like in a broad sense, we're sort of confused by it. It's like there's TV shows now, like, remember, like, what, did you ever watch Lost?
Yes. Yeah.
And like Prison Break and shit, and then, you know, maybe Showtime had Dexter, and then HBO had The Wire or whatever the fuck. There wasn't a lot of shows. Now there's like fucking 30 shows being launched every month, in different languages you can't keep up with, in all types of genre. So it's an overload of information, and obviously it's gonna dilute the quality. To me, I don't think battle rap is dead, and I don't think hip hop is dead. I think it's thriving. It's just where you go to. You can now curate your experience. If you playing the fucking radio, stupid you. If you playing some big time playlist, stupid you. You should be doing the same thing you did in high school. Just because you're 30, don't change your mannerisms. Hit people up and go, yo, what's hot? I'm trying to find the new version of what I used to like. I want to find who's doing this and who's doing that. And that's how you discover people like me. And that's how you find out people can still out-rap everybody from their fucking room. You know what I mean? So that's how people...
The first interview we ever did, which was going on 4 years ago now in April, which is fucking... I know. So, like, I remember we ended up, like, talking. The episode ended at, like, 2 in the morning because you're on the West Coast. And we ended up talking till like 5 a.m., me, you, and Brian, just about hip-hop. Like, not even on the record. We were just bullshitting for like 3 hours. And you even said to me, it might have been on the episode, you were like, then turn the station off. Why are you listening to this stuff? And it actually, like, so now that I have Spotify, I have 500 songs on there, but it's only stuff I like. So for people to sit there and say, like, oh, music sucks, well, you're just not directing it to yourself. So, like, my top artist on my iPod, or not iPod, sorry, wow, dated myself there, on Spotify, I'll download people like Fab, M, Ilmac, Benefit, my top 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have, no offense to, like, anyone who likes them, I don't have a Drake song on my Spotify. It's not my cup of tea. So I won't sit there and complain about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
But, bro, radio and television was narrow, and we could get over the convo. We could go whatever you want after this, unless you want to build. But radio and TV was narrow. It was just basically like a one network. I mean, BET and MTV was both owned by Viacom, and Bill Clinton passed. I think I told you this last time. He passed something in the late '90s, and not just Bill Clinton, but they passed something called the Telecommunications Act in the late '90s, and what that did was that changed radio from what it was from the 80s, early 90s, mid 90s to the late 90s. It meant that the owner of the radio station no longer knew the building and paid the workers. It meant that all these radio stations were bought out after the Telecommunications Act and were owned by a person in Wall Street who didn't even fucking know anything but just looked at charts, graphs, and advertising numbers. So at that point, everything became a little bit more, they call it syndicated, but really what everything became for locality was sort of removed. Well, to me, what the internet did is it globalized everything, but you can get some sort of local understanding of certain things when you're being specific within a demographic. So you could be slightly more idiographic with certain things that you like. So guess what? If I want to hear a rapper who only talks about Shakespeare, I could try to find that guy. You know what I mean? If I'm like, I want to hear literary, I want to hear something like that's a little bit more literate, in a literary sense, more profound or whatever. I want to see somebody stretch their vocabulary. I want to do this. Then you can find that. Now, if your girlfriend or somebody you know is like, I don't want to hear all that. I want to hear something to just pass time. I want to hear something. I want to hear relationship stuff. My heart's broken. I need attention. Well, guess what? There's a lot of that shit for you too. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're in a good time with music, and people could just find what it is that fits them, and you know serves their own like fucking individual, fills their individual voids. You know what I mean? We're in a great. I told you this last time. We're in a great time, and to me, even in politics, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of fuckery, but even now, stories can.
Oh, is this MAGA Nino coming out?
I
don't know if I.
Now, what I'm saying is this: when you have a mainstream conglomerate or some fucking William Randolph Hearst kind of character, that if you're on his bad side, you're not gonna see the other side of this, of what's really going on. If you don't get along with him, good fucking luck. when you have shit like that, it's hard to ever hear the other side.
True.
And now with the internet, you have people in certain countries right now, we don't have to get all specific, but you have people in certain spaces right now grabbing their phone and showing the bulldozer.
Mm-hmm.
Grabbing their phone and going, look at this person, and Sheikh Jarrah a couple of years ago, somebody was like, look at what these people are doing. And all of a sudden you're telling your story. So guess what? You know what that means? We're media. You have a phone where the half of the footage coming out that's of these global events are filmed by a person, and most of the media outlets, they try to be ethical and they try to hit. So if you filmed an event, okay, you remember that guy Orson Welles that did Citizens Kane?
Yeah, I know Orson Welles. Yeah,
I forgot what it was called. It was like War of the Worlds in the 20s. He did a radio. I don't know if you know.
Everyone thought the world was ending. Yeah.
In Jersey.
Yeah.
In Jersey, right? And he got in trouble. The FBI, like whoever, like the FBI, whatever, was investigating him, and they were like, "Why did you do this?" Yada yada yada. Well, if you would have went outside and captured that event in New Jersey, you know where you're at now, and found all these people panicking about a Mars invasion from Mars people, whatever, Martians, they would have hit you up and say, "Hey, Scott, we want to use your footage," right? They would have been like, "Yada yada yada," and with your phone. But back then, you couldn't just fucking go out with something that was yours. You have to buy a fucking camera, do this, do that, pitch this, mail the video, bring it to somebody's house. So we live in a day and age, to me, that the technology has made it so accessible that it's like, yo, bro, you could get something anywhere you want. We still don't understand that. We still look at these centralized spaces. We still look at this. We said, look, you watch the Oscars?
Not anymore, but I did.
I'll like see who won. It'll be movies I never even heard of. I'll be like, I don't even know that fucking movie. You know what I mean? I seen Taken 4. I didn't see this shit. So it's like, we don't live in a world where the Oscars is going to tell me what I need to watch anymore, or the Emmys is going to tell me what shows I need to watch. Sometimes I'll go back and watch a show and it'll be like, or I'll see some show and it'll be like, this won 6 Emmys. And I'll be like, never heard of you, pal. Yeah. Like, I don't even fucking show this is. So I don't think we live in a world where these gatekeepers essentially should be conditioning us the way we feel like we're sort of like hopeless to, you know what I mean?
Right. I think though in music it's harder, because in music more than TV, it's a double-edged sword in music, because at the same time, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but I know I'm not horrible at rap. I'll throw that out there. I know I'm not bad. There's worse people bad, right? Like, but there's no gatekeeper to stop anybody from making music, but at the same time, it's good because there's no gatekeeper to stop someone like a Russ who did it independently, you know what I mean, to do it himself. So it is a double-edged sword of music more than anything, I think. But at the same time, everyone has a fan of someone. It's everyone's cup of tea, right?
Depends how you enter a space, and it depends on what you're doing, how you introducing your content. I don't necessarily, if somebody, to me, a rapper, to me, if I wasn't what I'm doing right now, I wouldn't be recording music and hoping people listen to it. How the fuck am I gonna, because I come from a time where for somebody to hear my shit, I had to give them a CD and hope they go home and play it.
Yeah.
You still kind of got to live with that mindset, because some still got to go to Spotify, click on your shit, and give it a form of currency that every tech company they monetize off this. They monetize off our attention, right? So like, you're asking somebody to give you 2 to 3 minutes of your time. Why? How? So to me, if you are up and coming rapper and you dope with and you got bars, you're good with your vocabulary, you got punches, you got great flows, you got great cadences, you should be showing that, and you should be showing it in a sense of output, in a sense of quality, and you should just put your phone on like RJ Payne did. You should put your phone in the car and rap every fucking day and show people how good you are. And to me, join every little fucking contest you can of people, because somebody told me there's no opportunities for rappers. I'm like, no, there's no opportunities that good rappers know how to take. There's a huge difference. And when I came out, I was doing every little open mic contest in New York City. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing me. And guess what? I had rounds for days. I do 3 of them a night. So eventually, that's what led to me standing out a little bit amongst my peers. Because dudes was like, well, I can't do everything he's doing. And then eventually that led to yo, bro, a lot of people don't know this. I won a contest at like 17 years old. And through that contest, It was like a songwriting, blah, 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 blah. I ended up writing for an artist. That's how they got me to get into that space. Through that, I ended up getting in that space and writing for a multitude of artists, and I learned the game from that. And that's kind of my entry point. So to me, it's the rappers think that their value is only in being dope, and it's like, no, homie, you got to learn how to present that how dope you are, and you got to be relentless at how you present it. You got to be on it. You got to let people know. You got to believe in it. You got to be like, yo, my album's still out, blah blah blah. You got to be able to promote it. And a lot of people I see, and I'm not speaking on you, but if this applies, the shoe fits, that's on you. But I know a lot of rapper homies who are dope, but I don't even see them believing in their content. They're like, well, I don't want to upset my followers, and I don't want to promote my music to them. And this, well, you ain't dope then. Because if you don't think you the best, when I did Rhyme of the Year, ain't no way I could retweet that enough. Every rapper that was every fan that's in here of mine or whatever that went and retweeted it, I was like, yup. That's what I'm doing. And I didn't have Instagram, but I was on it on Twitter. I was on it on Facebook. I was on it on the blogs. I did every interview I could do. And I was like, hey, we in the age with all the control shit, pay attention to Rhyme of the Year. It's a 6-minute fucking rap. And I feel like I did it better than all of them. So it's not to say that that's all it takes, but you have to believe in your product, and you have to believe in your ability enough to get it out there and then give it the attention. Because if not, how are people gonna know it's special? You can't just put something on a shelf and go, hopefully somebody will look there. No, you gotta take it from the shelf and go, yo, look, I want a spelling bee in 6th fucking grade. You know what I mean? Look at my fucking plaque. They're not gonna stare at the plaque unless you show them. So all your greatest gifts, all your ability. Look, my man here said, I remember. I was on it when Rhyme of the Year came out. Before Rugged Man, before Jaron Benton, before Lupe Fiasco, before King Los, before Joe Budden, before Graf, none of them retweeted it. I was for 5 straight days just letting all the fans know, if you really believe in this, get it out the way I believe in it. And it wasn't until 4 to 5, 6 days later that Joe Budden tweeted it. Joe Budden was getting heckled by fans, and at the time I don't know if he just started.
What year was this?
I dropped Rhyme of the Year in 2013.
Okay, so he was just after the second Slaughterhouse album.
Yeah, and he was doing some like casual media. I love hip, but still, like at the time, he could post some stuff. You know what I mean? And since I was on his project and I rock with him, and he would shout me out. A lot of fans was like, yo, none of the rappers are talking about Rhyme of the Year. So what did I do? I would go on lives there was something called Blog TV, I think it was called. And I would go on lives, and I'm like, go and tell these rappers what I'm doing. That's how Ari the Rugged Man found out about it. That's how Jaron Benton found out about it. So to me, it was harder back then. To me, it was harder. I couldn't just go do this right here on the Instagram Live. Like, I had to tell people, go from Twitter, click on this Blog TV link, sign up your email, sign up an account. No one's going to take your money from Nigeria or China. You're not getting scammed. And then hopefully you can log in. And I would do these Blog TVs and tell fans, yo, help me get the word out. And I wasn't fucking with none of the corporations at the time. So I think a lot of rappers, they put their hands up and they're like, I'm doing raps and I'm doing songs. And it's like, all right, bro, that's one part of it. What's the next part? Where are you getting it across to other people and beating in the head? You can't just go to a show where people aren't there that don't know you're gonna be there. You got to do a lot more. You got to believe in your product. So I know 2 rappers that are mega nice, and they barely promote themselves on their own social media.
You don't need to talk about me and Brian that way, okay?
Look, like I said, if the shoe fits.
All right, it is what it is. No, but for real, who's on your upcoming act? Nino, I think a lot of people in this would run through a wall for you. That was like a coach speech, That was like fucking the guy from Rudy just giving this speech for like no one comes in our house and pushes us around type shit. So that was very inspirational.
The Gladiator, when Maximus, he goes on the horse.
Yeah.
And he goes, gentlemen, on my command, unleash hell.
Might be one of the best scenes in a movie when Joaquin Phoenix is like, how dare you turn your back on me? And he rips the mask off and turns. My name is Maximus Desmond. That actually, that gets you every fucking time.
Maximus Decimus Meridius, father of a murdered son.
Husband to a murdered wife.
To a murdered wife. commander of loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius.
And I will
have my vengeance on this day or the next.
Amazing. It was an amazing scene. All right, Nino, we got about 10 minutes here before my bottle of wine kicks in and I just pass the fuck out. So, new project. Who's on it? Release some names. Is this exclusive information you're giving me right now with my duck hunt sweater on? You like that?
Well, look, man, only because you're wearing a duck hunt sweater, I'll give you some exclusive information. I got a track. I got on the album, production-wise, I got a guy named Saram Sounds who produced for Eminem. He produced Raw for Eminem and Royce. He produced the Slaughterhouse Southpaw record. I met him. He just became a fan. Never charged me for a beat. So if he watches this, excuse me, shout outs to Saram Sounds. Heard me, reached out to me, got on the project, and he's on a bunch of records. I got my man Zilla on there. I got my man Quincy Tones, who produced J Electronica's Ghost of Chris Wallace. He did some production on the album. I got my man Nemesis, who's produced on a bunch of my projects. And then I got my man Macam Def, who's a new producer I'm working with. He's part of an electro funk group called Church in Vancouver. But he makes a lot of hip hop shit. He produced with a Young Mercules. He produced for Snack the Ripper. He produced for guys like that. So he's been giving me some hip hop shit, and I got that as producers. As far as rappers, I got 360 on the album. I got Mickey Fax on the album. I got Graph on the album. I got Fashion on the album. I got this battle rapper, you might have heard of him, named Real Sick from Jersey.
Never heard of him. I don't know. Yeah, of course, Real Sick. Yeah, he lives 15 minutes from me, I think.
Jersey. So I got the boy Real Sick on there, and then I got Slug of Atmosphere. I got Raskaz on there, and I got my brother Cambada's on the album. So I have not told anybody. My fans have been wanting me to work with Cambada since 2016 because the first records anybody heard from Cam on a bigger scale was with me. We did a record called The Watchman with Styles P and Crooked Eye, and that was the first time Cam really you know what I mean? Let people know who he was. So Cambada and he's the only rapper to rap on Illuminati Reject. Illuminati Reject 1, I had no rap features, only Cambada. And we came up together and then we were working. We were part of something called Third Floor. So, you know, I got him now on Illuminati Reject 3, and I'm proud of that. I got him put him on a record with Slug and Raskaz, was let you know how highly I think of him. And him and I are working on some other stuff too that's gonna follow up Illuminati Reject 3.
All right, and really quick, who did you reach out to? Who didn't reach back that you could give an FU to? Anybody? No.
Man.
Okay.
I'm a lucky guy, man. Like I'm a real lucky guy.
No Diabolic on the album.
Bollock's my man. You know what's funny about rap? I feel like I don't take advantage of the people, and I need to start doing this in a way. I don't take advantage of the people I know would say yes. Yeah,
it's true. It makes sense, though. You're kind of like, that's why I never asked you for a feature, because, you know, we're friends. And it's
that's why I asked for a feature. But yeah, nah, I didn't, I got friends on the album. Slug's a friend of mine. Raskaz is a friend of mine. Cambada's a friend. Like, these guys, Graph is one of my closest friends in hip-hop. Right. Fashion's on the one of my closest friends. So a lot of friends on the project, but yeah, you know, I'm not a feature guy either. Like I did House, I did Phone a Clip, I did this, I did that. I got a lot of feature records. You know what I mean? For me, these records just had to be something that I felt like I heard the person's voice on it. You know what I mean? Oh, I will say this. You said to give a big fuck you to. Fuck you to Apathy. Because, nah. And in a bad way. That's my brother. I love Apathy to death. Him and I got a record on a project he's doing with Vanderslice. He's doing all this shit over G.I. Joe samples, which you will love. It's fucking dope. Yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but you said you wanted exclusive info. You drank wine.
Sorry, App. I've been a fan since your Immortals song, and like, whenever the hell you dropped it. So it's justified. Yeah.
So Apathy got a joint with Vanderslice over all G.I. Joe shit. And me and Real Sick on a record for him. I actually got Real Sick on the record because I thought Sick would kill it. And by the way, can you take some questions from people in here? Because I dragged a bunch of people from Facebook and Instagram.
Someone's saying we need you and Locke to connect. Is that Locksmith? Didn't you do a song Locksmith though?
With Bollock, but not like a one-on-one record.
Right. And then Oh, someone said your ceiling fan is working overtime. I'm sorry. Let me scroll up, man.
We'll take some questions, but Apathy, real quick, I did a verse for him, and then I just thought Apathy's gonna do something for me because that's my man, and I did something for him. I sent him the beat that I got Slug and Raskaz on, and he was like, "I fucking hate this beat," and he didn't doing it. So
someone said, "Can you freestyle?"
Yeah, bro. Like if you want me to freestyle, just pay me like $1,000, and we'll think about it.
You know what? I mean? I'm not even doing. I wouldn't do that for free anymore, right? Do you even freestyle anyway? Is that even a thing? Do you even freestyle?
Oh, that's my man from Long Beach. Oh, that's a homeboy that I met on Clubhouse. Remember Clubhouse? I dragged you on there a couple of times.
Yeah, like 2 seconds. That thing went away quick.
Yeah. That shit. Spaces killed that shit.
Yeah. So, and someone said, "Love you, Nino." That wasn't. I don't know. Leo and Big.
Yeah, before we skate, if any of them got any questions, I go back because usually this gets 4 people. I got 6 more people in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. You know what? I do okay. I don't do that well. I'm a good personality for this, Nino. You even say it. Off the record, I'm chaos and chaos works. No, I don't know what I'm doing and it works.
No, listen. Let me tell you something. I was somebody just asked a question and I'll answer it. What's the release date of the album? It's coming out in March. Another guy said, "Is there any songs over 6 minutes on the album?" On the bonus record, oh yeah, there is one on the album, maybe even 2 on the album, and then on the deluxe version, because I'm putting 5 more records, there's another. So there's 3 records over 6 minutes. So just something, I'm the self-proclaimed 6-minute king.
Oh, God, sounds good. You're like, you release every song like it's "Hey Jude." I'm sure everyone loves it.
Yeah.
So, can you shout out Fredo on the album? Someone said.
Oh, shout out to Fredo. I know who that is. Yeah, I'll shout him out. I got him. But look, I'm going to tell you something. I was talking to one of my mans the other day, and he was like, a lot of people are really good personalities online, and if they have professional equipment and they have the right cosign and they have the right this, they could get a bunch of shit over. And I was bringing you up because I was like, yo, low key, I feel like this. There are people like that, and if it wasn't for the TruExact platform, I wouldn't see some of the shit y'all do. Because I low key think that you get a produced version, like if you guys had like a fucking whatever Tim Dillon has with like some other people there, you never know what could happen, man. You guys got something going, and y'all got good chemistry. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're very well versed, and me, Brian, Eric, and I think Ellie adds a nice thing too with her involved.
Bro, listen, this whole time when I was gone for 3 months, I went back on the phone. This is like my internal bullshit that I shouldn't even be telling you. But I went back on the phone to log in because I saw the Christmas shit. And I said, Ellie's over these dudes. She's not working with them no more. Let me go in there. I said, ain't no way Ellie's going to be in there. I'm going to go in there, ask where Ellie's at. And they'll be like, oh, Ellie doesn't do this. I went in there and it was love as usual. And I was like, how the fuck is Ellie putting up with these fucking assholes? How the fuck has she still dealt with y'all for 2+ years at this point? It's insane. Bro, after that first Christmas list, you would have been on my block list, bro. I don't know how the fuck I would have big K'd you the fuck out of there. I'd be like, yo, you gotta go, bro.
I think we just like pissing each other off at this point. I don't know. It is what it is. No, Nino, I'm gonna head out though. It's 10:40 here on the East Coast. I had to wake up early and get my dog insulin because he has diabetes. Poor little guy. So I gotta get up every morning.
Your dog gets better, man. Good seeing you.
Hey, man, nice speaking to you. We'll keep in touch. Look out for Illuminati Reject 3, and we will do a regular episode coming up. Nino, really quick, Super Bowl pick. Go.
The New York Jets.
Oh, you fucking loser. All right. Well, if the Cowboys lose again, just make sure you console me and text me that you're sad. Okay?
If the Cowboys lose, I'm going to act like I'm shocked. By the way, RIP Pat Stay. Anybody go on Stay Forever. Support my brother. Everybody who came in here that I dragged in here, thank you for coming. Blessings to you, brother. I'll catch you in a bit.
Thank you, man.
All right, bro.